Creating a record-breaking sales month in your business is not luck. It is always strategy and it is always based on a really detailed plan. So if you've ever wondered how you would hit your first 50K month, your first 70K month, or even your first 100K launch, if you've ever thought, what would I need to put into my plan in order to celebrate those big cash results that you see other coaches celebrating, then this video is for you because I'm going to walk you through my 90-day sales campaign checklist. I know you're going to love it. I know that it is going to simplify the process for you and reveal things that maybe you didn't think me and other coaches like me were doing in order to get those big cash months. And if we've not met before, hi, my name is Rach Howarth. I'm a business mentor for women all over the world. I have supported over 9,000 clients so far and counting. And I help you to monetize your skills and be able to sell your skills, sell your online offers with the biggest amount of ease and simplicity. Simplicity is one of my number one values. I love to make things really, really simple for you so that you can celebrate the same level of success that I've been able to build and that I've been helping clients to build too. Okay. So no matter where you are in your business right now, this video is designed for you, whether you've just maybe hit your first 5K month and you want to know how to get to 20. Maybe you've already done a 20K month and you want to be able to get to 50. Maybe you've done 50 and you want to get to 100. The same campaign checklist would apply. Okay. So this sales campaign that I'm about to walk you through, I've used this many, many times in my business, and I would continue to use this over and over again, whether I was trying to get my first million, trying to get my first 10 million, or trying to hit a first 5K month. The same checklist would apply. Okay. There is nothing different, nothing more fancy, nothing more strategic. This is as detailed as it gets. And the fact that I've built this into a checklist for you just makes it like super, super simple. Okay. So let's dive in. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure that you hit like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. If you want to listen to my podcast, it's called Becoming an Online Sales Queen. You can find that on my YouTube channel too, as well as all major podcast platforms. But yeah, let's dive into the 90-day sales campaign checklist. And then I would love you to drop me any questions that you've got. Like my Instagram handle is @RachHowarth. If any questions arise for you that this video doesn't answer, please do feel very free coming into my Instagram DMs. Let's have a chat, okay? So first things first, when we're building a 90-day sales plan, the very first thing we have to do is get clear on your income goal. Now, when I say your income goal, I would love it if you would start your 90-day sales plan with a sales goal and a cash in the bank goal. Now, the difference is because you may be selling an offer where you're offering a pay in full option and a payment plan option. And of course, if somebody pays in full, you get all the money up front. If somebody takes a payment plan option, then you would get that money given to you over a period of months. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And so when you're setting your income goal, I would recommend that you set the cash goal, how much cash will actually land in your bank in that first month, and the sales goal, the overall sales goal. For example, if you were selling an offer that was 10K and somebody was going to pay for that offer over 10 months at £1,000 a month, that would be 10,000 in sales, but 1,000 in cash. Okay. So when you're setting your goal, set both goals. And I also want you to break down how many clients would you need to sell into your offer in order to hit that goal. Okay. Now, in that 90-day sales period, you may be just selling one offer. You may be selling 2, 3, you may even be selling 5 offers. I definitely wouldn't recommend that you sell more than that though. Okay. So what your income goal could look like is I want to make this many sales. I want to have this much cash hit the bank in month 1. And I will achieve this goal by selling 5 clients into this offer at this many sales, 10 clients into this offer at this many sales, 20 clients into this offer at this many sales. Okay. So you work out for the start of your plan, what does that income goal in detail look like by offer? Yeah. Number of clients times the price of the offer equals the income that you will bring in per offer. Okay. So if we were working together, I would say, what's your overall income goal? And you would say, I want to do 100K this quarter. And I would say, how does that break down? And you would say, five into my mastermind, 20 into my membership, and I want to sell X number of online courses, for example. Okay. Doesn't have to be that. It could just be I'm selling one offer and I want to sell 50 of them. Okay. And that would be okay too. So that's the income goal. That is step one, always step one, because that income goal then gives you clarity around which offers you are selling. Okay. Now, the next step in the checklist is you getting offer clarity. So, what is offer clarity? It's you getting really clear on what you are selling, what the program promise of that offer is, what is the primary messaging of that offer? So, what's the title? What's the strap line of that offer? That's the primary messaging. What's the secondary messaging, which is the problem, the pain points, and the desire points? Yeah, so you'd be able to say, I want to sell 10 spots in my mastermind, which has a program promise of helping my clients hit 200K a year. And the reason that they're not hitting 200K a year right now is this set of problems. And my offer solves these problems by teaching these frameworks. And my ideal client right now is feeling these emotions. Yeah, that's the pain points. And once they've hit 200K a year, they will be able to enjoy these outcomes. And that type of messaging framework, for you to get really clear on that, will help everything that you build. That's the foundation for your sales pages, for your emails, for your social media content, for any video content that you might create, for everything. If you don't know what the title, strapline, problem, pain points, and desire points are, everything else is going to feel hard. Okay. The other thing that goes into your offer clarity is your ideal client persona. Now, contrary to, what is popularly taught online, you can have an offer that appeals to more than one ideal client persona. I'm not a believer in having only one niche. I'm a believer that your offer is your niche. Okay. So you might have your offer with its promise. And if I was to ask you, who are the people that would get the most value from that? Who are the people that you could sell into that offer that would get the biggest amount of benefit? There may be one type of person, and there may be three types of people. Okay. Now, what I would recommend is that you don't have 10 types of people because that will dilute your messaging. Okay. So you need to think about what are the ideal client personas of the people that have those pain points that I want to help overcome and those desire statements. If I ask my clients, my audience, what is it you really want and why do you want it? You want to keep it as narrow as possible, but please don't think I can only sell to one person because you don't necessarily need to only ever sell to one type of ideal client persona. Okay. The other thing in offer clarity is your pricing. So, are you offering a payment plan? Are there going to be VIP upgrades? Are you going to have an order bump? Are you going to have an upsell or a downsell offer? So, get really clear on what the payment options are, whether you're going to make it a pay in full only, whether you are going to have a payment plan that is extended. Not that I actually recommend that, but sometimes you might want to sell your offer early. I've had some great success, like selling my offer 3 months early and selling a pre-sale offer. And because I'm selling it 3 months early, I can offer an extended payment plan, which spreads out the payment plan and makes it more affordable. It is much better to sell early and extend the payment plan early than it is to extend the payment plan after the program has ended. Okay, so get really clear on your pricing options. And again, in the offer clarity part of this checklist, you want to get really clear on what's included. Are there bonuses? Are there calls every week? Is there a Slack channel, a Telegram group, a WhatsApp group? Is there a Facebook community? Get really clear on what is the offer, who is it for, why do they need it, why do they need it right now? Okay, and of course, then what are the payment options? Just get really, really clear on your offer. Then I want you to think about what types of sales campaigns are you going to put into your 90-day period, right? This is a 90-day sales campaign. And within that 90-day period, you might want to allocate 30 days to selling offer A and 14 days to selling offer B and 60 days to selling offer C, for example. So you don't have to build everything in 7-day windows. You don't have to sell one offer for 90 days. You can actually layer your strategies on top of each other, and that is absolutely fine. What I give to my students, so I run a mastermind where I give you a roadmap, a 90-day roadmap, and that allows you to stack your strategies. Okay, this is what I teach in my mastermind. You may want to build that into a Word document, into a spreadsheet type document, but you can layer your strategies. Okay, please know that you can layer your strategies. It doesn't just have to be do this, then do this, then do this. If you are multi-passionate, if you are super creative, if you can spin more than one plate at a time, please do layer your strategies. I layer my strategies and it works really, really well. Now, what does that even look like? What do I even mean by layering your strategies? It may be that you are in the planning stages for a live launch whilst at the same time selling a course, for example. Okay. So it doesn't have to be that you only pick up one offer, work on that offer, then put it down, and then work on another offer. You can layer them. Yeah. You can blend the way that you approach your sales campaign, and that is absolutely fine. What you do have to manage is your time and your energy. Okay. And if you've got a team working with you, you obviously need to be good at communicating with them too. Okay. So, in terms of you then choosing what types of sales campaigns are going to go into my 90-day campaign window, it may be that you want to have a content only strategy. So maybe you're on Instagram and you want to do one campaign that runs for 7 days on Instagram, and that's one of your campaigns. And maybe that is to sell an online course. But you may have another strategy, another campaign to sell your membership, and you want to enroll 20 people into your membership, and you want that entire campaign to be spanned across every social media platform that you've got, across your email audience, across, if you've got a podcast, you might want to do some episodes on it. Like, it's a layered strategy where everything, every audience that you have, every collaboration that you do, every outlet that you have to get your message out there is used for that campaign. Okay. So it might be a simple content only. It may be that you want to run one campaign in your stories, but it also may be that you want to do a really big, loud live launch and bring in all of your audiences, all of your communities, all of your social media platforms. Okay. So a live launch is another example of a campaign that you want to use. Another example of a campaign would be a funnel. Like I have times in my business where I am particularly focused on one of my funnels, and that is a campaign that is, always running in the background. It always deserves my attention. I'm always assessing the data, looking at the analytics, seeing what's going on with our ads, seeing what's going on with our opt-ins and our email sequences. So funnels is another example of a sales campaign that you might want to build into your 90-day period. Another example of a sales campaign might be a series of collaborations that you want to do. Maybe you want to expose collaborative audiences to your membership, and maybe you set up 5 different collaborations or guest expert spots, and in each of those spots, you get agreement up front that you can open the doors to your membership to that person's audience. And that could be another example of a campaign. Okay, there's lots of different ways that you can build campaigns within your 90-day window. So again, it doesn't have to be 90 days, one offer, one sales campaign. It could be within 90 days, you've got 3 lots of 30-day sales campaigns. It may be that you've got something for a week, something for 2 weeks, something for 4 weeks. And as long as that all sort of sits under your 90-day campaign window, it's going to support that income goal that you've made for that 90-day period. On the document that I have where I'm sharing this checklist, I also give you something that's really, really valuable, which is a list of 15 different content angles. So different perspectives that you can come from in your content and your messaging so that you can always appear like you've got a fresh angle, that you are sharing content from a leadership perspective, from an authoritative perspective. Maybe you want to like bust a few myths. Maybe you want to share your previous experience, and that's an angle. Maybe you want to tell client stories, and that's an angle. So I'm very much a fan of you in your sales campaign being able to leverage different types of content so that your audience don't just hear buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. Yeah. Because that gets boring. So what we need to do in your campaign period is really leverage problem awareness, client success, your own experience, the story of why you created the offer in the first place, maybe the story of the last cohort that you ran of this offer, or the last time somebody jumped into this course and then gave you feedback on it. Really come up with a very broad suite of content that's coming from multiple different angles that showcases you as a leader, as an authority, as an expert, because that's what's really going to help you sell your offer. Also, on my 90-day campaign checklist, I go into detail about the Vino 4-step sales process that I teach. You may have heard me talking about this before. If you haven't, I will link a video below this video for you, which walks you through my Vino sales process. The V stands for visibility, the I for interest, the N for nurture, the O for offer. And all you need to do really to really leverage that 4-step sales process is think about how you are going to do each of those 4 things throughout your sales period. So how are you going to get visible? How are you going to get your audience interested? How are you going to nurture trust? How are you going to invite the offer? Is it that you want to invite the offer on sales calls? Is it that you want to invite the offer in DMs? Is it that you want to invite the offer in an email sequence? So get really, really clear about how you are going to do each of those 4 steps in the Vino process. Okay. And again, I'm going to link a video below. If I forget, please do come and nudge me on Instagram. I will send you the link for it. So what else is on this 90-day sales campaign checklist is reference to your timeline. So again, with your 90-day window, you may have multiple campaigns. You need to keep up to date on where you are with your calendar and your timeline. So I want you to think about plotting out when you have a wait list, if you're going to use a wait list strategy, plotting out when you're going to have the pre-sale window open, if you're going to use a pre-sale saving. You might want to utilize things like a founding member's price. You might want to utilize things like a beta price. You might want to utilize things like a fast action bonus or some sort of saving. You also need to be absolutely clear when your final sales deadline is. Okay. So for your 90-day campaign, I want you to think about, if it's a 7-day campaign, that's easy. You've got day 1 to day 7, and then it's closed. When you then come out of day 7 and go into the next part of your campaign, or maybe you want to, do a week's worth of like value content and not sell anything, and then go into the next part of your sales campaign, I want you to like be really clear on when does it start? When are you offering a pre-sale saving? When are you inviting people, to enroll for the first time? When do they have to enroll by to get access to a special deadline or a special bonus? Yeah, so what are the clear timelines for each of your campaigns? That is really, really important. There is nothing worse than you being partway through a sales campaign and not knowing like which offers you've dropped, which ones you haven't, like when the deadline is, and you'll be all over the place, and you really don't want that. So before you even go into the sales campaign, you want to get really, really clear on what the timeline looks like. The next part of our list is your sales asset list. And this is where the checklist really does start to open out. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by this. But if I was going into a sales campaign where I was planning to, bring in 50K of sales, 100K of sales, I would know what my sales asset list was. So I would know what the offer branding looked like, whether I need a logo for that offer, whether I'm going to trademark the name for that offer. I would be thinking about sales pages and planning like Google documents that need to be created. I would be thinking about opt-in pages and thank you pages. If you're going to run a masterclass, you need an opt-in page, or, a 5-day challenge, you need an opt-in page. You're also going to need to think about downsells and order bumps and VIP upgrades. Like, what assets need to be created in order to create those things? Okay. It may be that you need to jump into Canva and create, what I call a value graphic, like a little mock-up of your course. They really help to sell your offer, by the way. They're really, really great. You might want to create a special logo. You might want to give your offer unique branding. Yeah, like I always create a presentation shaped graphic. It's often got my picture in it, my photograph in it, the name of the offer, my name, our logo, and then like the title and the strap line of the offer. Okay. So you might want to think about all those branding things. Other things that sit on your sales asset list would be your sales email sequence. So how many emails are you going to create as part of your sales sequence? You're going to need to think about content creation. I would think about having a direct sales carousel that walks through the offer in detail. But I would also think about content that raises awareness of the problem, content that showcases client wins and success, content that showcases, your success, your previous success in relation to the offer and the result that it teaches. So think about, what types of content do you need to create? How many face to camera videos do you want to create? How many trending audio reels do you want to create? So like think about and plan into your diary the video recording time, any podcast that you need to record, any slide decks that you need to create. That's another sales asset that's really important. You might also want to plan a DM sales script. So if you're going to do any outreach, you might want to create a template DM. You might also want to create a sales call booking link in maybe something like Calendly. You may also need to create a Zoom link. If you're running a free masterclass, you need to think about what platform you're hosting that on. So there's a whole list of assets that you need to have available for you to be able to sell your offer. And my advice, and the whole reason I'm sharing this with you, is so that you create these assets in advance, not as you go. Okay. I absolutely want you to create these assets in advance, because if you create them as you go, it's going to feel hard and you're going to run out of time and potentially get overwhelmed. And don't forget, the whole purpose of this 90-day sales campaign is that you can have your best sales month yet. Yeah, that you can celebrate your biggest cash injection. You can have, like all your records broken. Yeah. Now that means you're going to have to do things bigger and better than ever before, which means creating your sales assets in advance, not winging it. Okay. I see you winging it sometimes. I know that it is very tempting to just want to feel into the energy and create as you go. But I promise you, if you do want to operate in that way, it will stifle your results. Okay. Creating as you go will limit your success. So if you still want to do it, no problem. You go ahead and do it. But I know that creating your sales assets in advance is what is going to support you best to have your best month ever. Okay. So that is your sales asset list. The other asset list you need to think about is your delivery asset list. So once you've sold your offer and people have joined your offer, you need to think about, what do you need in order to deliver the offer? So what does the onboarding process look like? What does the welcome email sequence look like? Are you going to be issuing contracts? Have you got those contracts? Do you need to source those contracts or personalize those contracts? Are you going to be offering a portal of resources, some worksheets, maybe some slides, maybe some documents to help your students to take action and make progress towards the goal that you're teaching them? You maybe need to create a one-to-one call booking link if there's a one-to-one included in the offer. And if you're inviting people to jump onto Zoom with you, whether that be group or one-to-one, you maybe need to create a separate Zoom link. Okay, so think about, what is it that you're going to need in order to deliver your offer? Do you need to set up a Telegram group, a Slack channel, a Facebook community? And if it is a Facebook community, there's lots of different settings that you may need to create. If it is a Facebook community, you might want to use the guides functionality. You might want to set up events within the Facebook community to think about all the aspects of delivery that need to be considered. And then the final part of this 90-day checklist for you is to think about the actions list and the delegations list. Now, I can't make this list for you. I'm just prompting you to be able to do this and, remember to do this. So what I would advise is that you make an actions list of what are the actions that you need to take and what are the actions that your team will need to take. Now, obviously, if you don't have a team yet, you don't need to do the team list. All the actions will be yours. And it may be in just making that actions list that you identify that there are some roles or tasks that you could create and just hire a VA on a project basis for. You maybe are looking at the fact that you've got to build sales pages and opt-in pages and schedule emails and think, wow, I would much rather just go and hire a tech VA to do this for me, give them 4 weeks worth of work to support me, and just hire them on a project basis. But in order to be able to do that, you need to create your action list. Okay. So what I would recommend is you make a whole list of the actions, and then you think about which of these actions could I get support with? Which do I need to do personally? And which do I need to get support with? Okay. So that is the 90-day checklist. Now, what I would recommend is based on the number of offers that you're going to sell in that 90-day period, you might want to repeat this process for each of the offers. So although I've given you the checklist for 90 days, if you've got one of your sales campaigns is a 7-day content campaign, you might want to do this process just for that. You might then want to say, right, my next campaign is a 30-day campaign where I'm going to be doing a masterclass and then inviting people to join an offer with an email sequence and content and all the things. And that overall, that's going to take 30 days. And so you might want to go through this checklist for that 30-day campaign. And then you may have another campaign that's 45 days long, and you might want to do this whole process for that as well. So rather than just create one list, one long checklist for your 90-day period, I would recommend that you create, you watch this video and do each of these things for each campaign. And that way you're going to keep everything neat and tidy, really easy to follow. You're going to be able to create your assets ahead of time. And overall, what I would recommend is that you aim to get at least a month in advance. So you can look at your to-do list and plot it over a period of weeks and months in the future, and that you always aim to be 30 days ahead of your action list. And I promise you that if you can get 30 days ahead of your action list, you will start to achieve bigger and better results than you ever have before. Because one of the biggest things that I see holding women back with their results is not creating assets, pages, offers, downsells, emails, content, all the things in enough time. The pressure of time is so great. It really pushes down on us. Energetically, it feels heavy. If you're not creating ahead of time, you're going to end up running out of time, running out of energy, and therefore you won't be maximizing your results. Okay. So I hope this video has been super helpful. Please do just come and ask me any questions that you've got on my in my DMs on Instagram, and my handle is @RachelHowarth. I'll be happy to support you. I'd be really happy to share a link to this checklist document so that you can make yourself a copy and follow this document in your business too.